I'm Rowan. I'm transfer coordinator at Erasmus University Rotterdam, and I help transition students from secondary education to higher education. I think interaction in education is really important because you can create your own path when you interact with your study program. And if you set your own goals, you need to interact to make sure the goals happen. Education is a two-way dialogue because I think it's really important that students have a voice in shaping their own education. ErasmusX is really an expert in providing the students what they need, and they work with students. Students have a voice in their programs as well, and together we make terrific things. ErasmusX is now working on an Ace Yourself app. It's an app for students to develop their own personal, social and study skills, and they develop life skills in a way we do not provide yet at university well enough. Your personal and social skills are helping you to be the true you, and we learn them to interact better in contact to other people. So we hope that's a product of the ACE app. Skills are more and more important nowadays because we don't know how the future looks, and we need skills in order to make sure we are doing the right things in society. My ambition in education is that it's accessible for everyone and that it's fitted to the needs from students. I think at Erasmus University we are definitely able to do that because we are impact driven, we are open for dialogue, and we talk to students about their needs.
Great. Wow. So, thanks a lot for the introduction, Karim. As he mentioned, I'm Pablo Ortiz, the innovation designer at ErasmusX, and I'm going to touch upon two projects in this event. So, I'm going to start with the first project, namely the Ace Yourself app. So, Rowan already helped a lot on giving a bit of context as to what this project is aimed towards. So to make it more specific, it is a project for students to develop soft skills in their lifelong learning journey, because we consider that to make education accessible, we also need to foster soft skills for students to become better at studying, but also to face life challenges along the road. Now, the focus that we're having in this particular project is on students from secondary education and higher education, and particularly these transitioning students, because they need support in training soft skills. They go through several different transitions. We also want to make sure that they can keep on training and mastering their different soft skills along their long life journey, because we will always get better at communicating with one another, at reading, at making summaries, at reflecting about ourselves, and having optimism. The way that we're doing this is on fostering systemic change. We want to involve the institutions and the educators in this process as to start a bit of a revolution, structural revolution in education, so that educators can also use the app as to tailor their educative programs and material around the mastery of soft skills, to make that explicit. And what we're building, it's more than an app. It really is a learning tool for students to build their own skill sets, to be empowered as to decide what kind of skills do they see in their future, both personally and professionally. More than an app is a big-scale learning tool, because we really aim to make a revolution as to how educators also prepare their material and advise, also have an active role in advising their students on how to become better at these soft skills. And more than a project is really making a start towards this. We really see this as a revolution, and we really want soft skills to take a more leading role, well, not particularly leading, but important in education, so that we don't only learn about history, but during learning about history or math, we also become better at studying and better at tackling challenges. Now, we have spoken with several students. We have conducted interviews with students from higher education and also secondary education. We also have conducted interviews with teachers and with educational institution representatives. But I'm going to focus on students right now as to give them a better sense of purpose. From the user research and the test sessions that we've had with the prototypes that we've developed, we began to understand some patterns in the students that we were discussing with. And these patterns are reflected in these 4 personas. So we see a bit of the low motivated and not very explorative side in Victor, that he will use the app as long as he needs to. So to that extent, it is also the active role of educational institutions as to provide spaces for the use of the app and to make clear the purpose of using the app. Another aspect can be shown in Talicia, that is highly educated and highly motivated and highly explorative, as she wants to be able to personalize the app to the profile and the skill sets that she sees on her professional profile. We also have Sara, that is not very explorative, but is very highly motivated, that went through the app, through the library of content, and found that particular method that makes her better in summarizing, and she wants a direct access to that particular method. And then we have Odin, that is not very motivated to use the app, but is very explorative. And he wants to understand, really, that there's a coherent narrative around this whole initiative, not only within the app, but also in the involvement during their program. Now, in the roadmap, to add up on the development that we're currently doing, we were able to create a group of content developers, UX designers, service designers, and we're collaborating also with awesome universities like the Vrije Universiteit, Leiden University, Maastricht. And to that extent, we've been able to do videos related to the different soft skills, designs. We are aiming towards July for the pilot of the application in the implementation in the pre-academic program, for which Rowan is the coordinator, and Connect. So these are programs aimed for onboarding students into the higher education life. So in these programs, we want to provide this tool for students to start honing their soft skills from the day one in their transition. And in September, we already see the fully coded app coming to life, being launched, and for students all over the place, in the Netherlands initially, but an extended also target, to get access to the application, have an autonomous use of the application, but also for institutions to begin a dialogue as to how to implement this app structurally. So what's next? Well, it is an app about soft skills, and there's a lot of content related to this. So we have been able indeed to hire some content developers, and we're busy with developing around 21 learning lines around the domains of personal skills, social skills, and study skills. For the app development, we already are starting the development as of last week with an external group of developers that are helping us launch this on September. And aside that, we are having these conversations about hosting and implementations of the app, possibly in the Erasmus University, but we're in active discussion around it. Now, for the sustainable business model, since we work in education, we want to provide an opportunity for institutions via licensing so that whatever costs of implementing the application within the institution covers the cost of maintenance of the application, the maintenance of the service, and the service related to it. And scheduling implementation, of course, because before the launch itself, we are establishing communications with the different universities as to see when can the application go live in their particular institution, addressing SSO as like the students being able to enter with their student ID and whatnot.